What's going on, all you beautiful humans? The public sale for Huddle01 node sales is coming up on November 8th, 12:30 Eastern time. So if you missed the whitelist, don't fret. I believe if you are fast enough, you can hit one of those tier 1 spots. Gonna go through just a couple of key details here today. Don't forget, right up above, that goes all in depth with Huddle01. I covered everything I could. We're gonna cover some key details today. So first off, for the node sale page, one of the cool things is if you buy 5 of these media nodes, you get 1 extra one for free. If you buy 10, you get 2 extra for free, which is pretty cool. It's going to look something like this. It is wrapped ETH on Arbitrum. If you use the promo code right here, Doctor, and you put that in, it'll actually get you a 10% rebate back. Just like that, boom, you're going to get 10% back as well, so that's pretty darn cool. Not to mention, if you use this promo code, you'll actually get entered into winning a free node as well, which I am giving away out of my own pocket. So once again, it's 12:30 Eastern time on November 8th, so that's like midnight plus, right? And I believe that you can maybe try to tag some of these tier 1s, which of course is the cheapest and lowest value. Now, the reason I am liking Huddle01, okay, and I've been over this before, is 95% cheaper than Amazon Web Services, okay? Once all these nodes are up, running decentralized real-time communication network, companies are going to come to them, okay? Groups are going to come to them. Games are going to come to them because it's going to be so much cheaper to pay, obviously, folks like us, right, in a decentralized manner, some of those rewards than just paying Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud. The whole goal is less than 100 milliseconds global connectivity. I have used it already before, and it has been as low as 30 milliseconds when I'm talking to people on the other side of the planet. And of course, censorship resistant with that encryption back to back. So you can actually open it up and check it out yourself. You can start a video meeting, start audio spaces. You can have like 100 people, I think, in a video meeting. Like 500 in audio spaces is a huge number here. So go ahead, give it a try. I have been in there. I've talked to people on the other side of the planet, and it works smoothly like any other Zoom, Skype, any of those things, and maybe better than Skype for sure. So some of the node sale dynamics that everybody's going to want to know is tier 1. Okay, there's 2,500 of these nodes. 1,000 of them were whitelisted. They're almost gone for the whitelist, and there's a cap on it, and that's your price, 0.122 for your wrapped Ethereum. And then, of course, the price goes up as those sell out, and we move on. Again, that Doctor code will get you a 10% rebate back, which is super nice. This is phase 1. They're only going to sell 20,500 of these nodes in phase 1, okay? There's going to be a max of 46,900 of these nodes, but a limited supply for phase 1. You're going to be able to get these bad boys going in just a couple weeks and actually get 5 huddle a day for the incentivized testnet before the mainnet goes live. So when TGE does happen, which will be in January, you will have 20% unlock of the TGE right away from those rewards. There's a 2-year linear vesting period. We did go over all those tokenomics in that video that I mentioned at the beginning. And 21% will be the airdrop. So for the incentivized testnet, 42 million of the huddle token. There's a 200 million huddle token max supply. Some of the key aspects I hear, that are really, really cool. First off, diverse ecosystem, already partnering and talking with so many groups. This has been 4 years in the making, and they now have the SDK, and they are rolling with it. One of the big things I like is the Xi grouping that they have because of the games, right? Being able to do a Unity plugin for utilizing Huddle, which is going to be huge for games and people making games. Here's their case study, okay, with Zoom, showing kind of what the cost is with Amazon Web Services, their monthly server costs, their yearly server costs, and then, of course, what it would cost with Huddle nodes for, utilizing Zoom, how much cheaper it's going to be. Cutting 95% of that cost for companies is going to be the big takeaway and the pull for folks to come over and utilize them. Now, a couple of SDKs and clients I want to talk about. SDK for Unity. Huge here because they can just plug it in, guys. They'll be able to plug and play with games. So, I'm going to really take a look and see how the Xi, kind of collaboration goes. Being able to plug it right into the games and have a game audio chat, obviously things like that is going to be stupendous, along with some of the other, SDK models they already have. And then, of course, this is a built product that you can utilize, and they have revenue plan, right? That's why I really am liking this, because there's actually a model in place, and we're going to have a future, right? Rather than waiting 2 years for something to get made. So Huddle01 here, they're talking about 40,000 users they've had since 2023. They've done over 2.5 million minutes, 70,000 events. I believe this is actually up to like 7 million minutes that they've done. And then I've talked about like a pro user plan for $20, really bumping up that and having like permanent recordings of these videos and stuff for you. Community plans up to like 50%, and then doing like a 10% of tipping, actually being able to have tipping if people are doing live streaming, which is of course very interesting and can have a future. What else we got on here? They're just talking about running holds, running nodes, holding tokens, basically easy onboarding. Now, this is a spot I mentioned to people already. I want to hammer home again. You can delegate your node to somebody else once I get my node up and running. If you want to delegate to me, sure, go ahead, because here's the big thing. Needing about 250 megabytes per second as your minimum bandwidth. You're going to need that bandwidth to be able to actually host and utilize this for users out there. Setting up the Huddle node will probably be as, quote, simple as other nodes. I say quotes because, I obviously have to put out videos because there's a little bit of work for that. And then, of course, they're estimating an ROI in about 170 days for folks. That is obviously all speculative and based on, depending on, of course, what the token goes to. Now, their SDK, they got available on web, Android. So really good that they already have a bunch of utilization for developers to really jump in and be able to utilize Huddle01. And we've talked about the white paper a little bit. Their January 2025 is going to be the mainnet launch with the Huddle TGE. That is the goal. So we're going to run a incentivized testnet for a couple of months before hopefully we are on mainnet launch and able to run that main network. Now, Arbitrum is what that's built on, and Caldera. And of course, the purchases with WrappedETH and Arbitrum as well. December, they're going to be pushing really hard for that onboarding, really getting 4 million plus users, getting more collaborations, looking at more gaming studios, system upgrade for permissionless controls so people are able to build and play. So looking forward to Huddle01, really looking forward to seeing where this goes and where this develops. They got a bunch of folks that they are, grouped in with. So I really do think this is a kind of sleeper agent here, and that's just because a lot of people are really tired of buying nodes and investing, and people only have so much to do so. Always invest what you're able to, lose or put away, because obviously the return for this is going to take a little bit of time. As always, stay warm, Wookiees.